Now, just a little warning before we begin. There will be major spoilers in this video for the first 2 episodes of Willow. So, if you haven't seen it and you don't want anything ruined, it is a really good time to click away. Okay, so what have you thought of Willow so far?
It's been a little bit of a mixed bag. It does hold some of the same campy, funny stuff that the original movie had, but it also seemed as crazy as it is, it made the original movie almost required watching to watch this. If you don't know what went down before, they do try to catch you up with some flashbacks, but I feel like it's necessary to watch it.
Yeah, I guess I would agree with that. I think it has that similar look and vibe and feel, I guess, to the original for the most part, yeah.
I could do it less teenager speak.
I think that's the big difference between the two. The first one obviously it's intended for kids, right? It's a younger,
absolutely.
It's a fun, whimsical adventure kind of thing. It's for kids. This one feels more like it's for young adults. It is very focused on our teenage, whatever you want to, the teenage young, that the Twilight crowd, let's call it. I don't know what else to call that kind of crowd, because sometimes it appeals to younger people, a little bit older people. It doesn't quite have that young kind of feel to it anymore, if that makes any sense.
No, because they've gone very heavy into some like teenage romance and problems of the heart.
Yeah, the first one was about, kind of a romance to it. Had the kind of the
there
classic,
was definitely a romance,
love story, I guess you could say. This one is more the teenage drama love story.
Yes. Where the one girl is in love with the playboy who can he really commit? He says he can commit, but can he really commit? Do they really have a connection, or is he just, I don't know.
Yeah, very trope heavy.
Yes, and the other one is an arranged marriage, Princess Kid. I'll just say their names. I don't know why I'm beating around the bush. Princess Kid is in an arranged marriage that she doesn't want to be in. It seems that Prince Graydon doesn't want to be in this relationship either. She does seem to have a strong connection, a love, let's say, for Jade, her best friend, who wants to nothing more than to be a knight of the Shining Legion. But at the same time, she just keeps leaving her behind in her own selfish pursuits. I would say the first episode, the story was a bit slow, as they were waiting to kind of set everything up, it felt like. Getting into the second episode, things started moving along once they hit that fight scene in the first episode, which I actually really liked. I thought the aesthetic of the Gales was creepy and interesting and full of darkness. Like, it felt natural to the world of Willow.
Visually, yeah, I thought everything looked pretty good. I thought it looked kind of creepy and scary. Yeah, the special effects I thought were pretty decent, and everything, on location kind of deal, not on a volume or anything like that, like Star Wars has done. So in that department, I thought everything was pretty solid.
I mean, one of the possible plot holes I had thought of was I was worried with Queen Sorsha. I'm like, why is she so against having Elora Danan trained in magic? If there's this prophecy now that she needs magic to defeat the Crone, to save the world, and instead she's going to shut all the magic out. And I was like, well, why would she do that? That seems like a stupid idea. But then I remembered later, her mother was Queen Bavmorda, evil empress of dark magic. So she probably has a little grudge, let's say, against magic in the first place.
Yeah, and speaking of some of the original characters like that, like Val Kilmer, not in this yet, as Mad Mortigan, which is not surprising. He's had some major health issues. If you've seen him in Top Gun, that is, that was a very surprise that he was even in that, the Top Gun Maverick. So I kind of like how they've handled him. Like, at first it seems like it's a mystery. Did he run off because he didn't want responsibility? Seems like he went on some kind of secret quest and has done some other things. So I'm glad they're still trying to make him a part of the show, despite the fact that they really, unfortunately, Val Kilmer's had, like I said, medical issues, so he can't be in this.
It is nice that they're honoring his character, and I think the spirit of him is kind of living on in Borman, really.
Yeah, I like Borman's been by far my favorite character.
he's brutish and straightforward, and he's just seeming to be looking out for himself, and, hey guys, I'm with you now because you make sense to me. I like him.
Yeah, most of the other characters are just kind of, it feels like they're trying to flip the script with certain characters and kind of like, a subversion of expectations, if you will. It's the prince is the one who gets kidnapped instead of the princess. The princess has to go save the prince. We have this arranged marriage where the prince is kind of the meek, kind of, I don't want to fight, where it's the princess is the one who wants to go out, and it's
I think there's more to Prince Graydon, though, than meets the eye.
Well, I'm sure there is, but my point is you can definitely tell there was a conscious effort to kind of not go with... I said before there are tropes, but they're taking those tropes and kind of flipping them, for better or worse. You might really enjoy it. You might think it's ridiculous and not like it. That's completely up to you, but certainly a conscious effort on what these character roles were going to be as compared to the traditional kind of roles the characters might play.
But as for what I was saying about Prince Graydon, I think that he likes magic quite a bit.
Yeah.
And magic is forbidden within the kingdoms. So I think that's part of the thing. But another thing that was weird, I know I'm like jumping around a lot.
That's fine. I think that there's a lot to kind of hit on and jump around, yes.
But they did that thing that I hate, the teenagers save the world thing, that's how you know which audience this is for. Immediately the princess, I'm going to save my twin brother. You know, she's the only heir to the kingdom right now. I'm going to go save my brother. And he's like, yeah, I'll send my son with. The only heir to my kingdom. Well, the only one that we know of. Like, that's a little interesting.
I mean, it's, again, as you say, it's one of those teenagers save the world kind of shows. That's what I was saying before. It's, you know, the adults have to defer to the younger crowd. Because that's just how these shows kind of work. I don't know why.
They got rid of their older guardian pretty fast. Everyone, be careful. We're in dangerous... And he's dead.
You said it about 10 seconds before. As soon as they focus on him and he was about to say something, like, oh, he's dead. Like, yep.
Exactly. They kind of needed to have the adult supervision gone because that's the role Willow is going to be taking.
I hope so. I mean, I wish the show had started with Willow. It's called Willow.
And it took a while to get to Willow.
Yeah, and he's not exactly the Willow I want to see. I was kind of hoping he would be, I don't know, what he imagined he was eventually going to be,
Well, we don't exactly know that he isn't yet.
I guess, yeah.
But this is another case of the fallen legacy hero, where currently he's not the strong, courageous... He started out in his original movie, he started out as cowardly, and he wanted to do the right thing, but he was reluctant.
Cowardly?
A little bit. He was afraid to do the right thing. He didn't want to leave home. He was a very reluctant hero. Let's call him that instead.
Yeah, but he embraced the for the baby and all that. I don't know that I'd call him reluctant so much. I mean,
there was reluctance definitely at the beginning. He didn't want to go, but he knew he had to go. His wife was like, "You gotta go," and he's like, "Yeah, I gotta go."
I don't know. I think we've seen different movies. I never really got the reluctant hero out of him.
He was a bit reluctant at first, and he didn't want, And
well, it's not that he wanted to. I know what you're
saying.
But
then he felt such a moral obligation, so he was very moral hero.
Yes, exactly. He was willing to do it. It wasn't so much that he was absolutely forced to do it. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But now he just seems a little jaded because he and Saoirse had a spat about training Elora Danan. He wanted her trained. She said, nah, and she's like, Willow, you're not a great sorcerer. She was not very nice to him, and we actually have no idea what kind of sorcerer he is because we haven't seen him do any magic.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I'm assuming he's not.
I don't want to make that assumption. I want to believe he became what he wanted to be, what he has strived to be.
It seems like they have a lot of problem taking these old characters and knowing what to do with them anymore without making them, something went wrong and they're broken in some respect.
But at least this one, I think he's going to get his redemption, unlike a Luke Skywalker, I know.
Well, he kind of did, I guess.
But the same, because we saw the vision that Willow saw, that the world is on the brink of destruction, and he's afraid. And I think he has to let go of his grip a little in order to make that change he's trying so desperately to make. To change the world, to change the outcome, to save Elora Danan in the world and defeat the Crone.
And I'm glad they ended the first episode by telling us who she was, because that was so obvious that it would have been painful for them not to...
It was obvious before the show ever started.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm glad they didn't try to, it's a mystery. We didn't... You don't know that she's actually Elora Danan.
When I heard that first interview... Yeah, the first interview, she's like, I'm playing Dove. I'm like, Willow called Elora Danan Dove when she was a baby.
Look at you go.
Boom. I did question the hair thing, too, and I'm like, it's just actresses, or kids' hair sometimes changes when they grow up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So I was going to let that go, but that's fine. They gave us an explanation for that, too. Oh, we rubbed stuff in my hair, and now it's white. Fine. It is sad to hear that both the sorceresses are gone. I thought the one was like eternal, the one who lived with the brownies.
Yeah.
The Shalandria. Wow, I think I just butchered her name.
I think you did, yeah. That's why she killed herself. Just kidding.
Michelangelo, the one with the wand,
Yes.
it's her wand,
Yeah.
and she gave it to Willow, and she looked like a mystical fairy creature. But she's gone, apparently, and so is Rizal, but Rizal was very, very old
Yeah.
in Willow, so her being gone makes sense. We haven't seen the brownies yet, either.
They are in this. We've seen them in the trailer.
I know. We've seen them in the trailer, but we haven't gone to visit them yet.
Well, at least they're taking their time. They're not trying to throw every little piece of nostalgia in your face immediately, I guess.
But they did go 2 episodes and 2 kidnappings, so...
Yeah. It's
Just when she got the magic to work.
Yeah, I mean...
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, it's not very...
I want her to fall in love with Graydon. He was very nice to her. Supportive.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm shipping Elora Danan and Graydon right now.
Okay.
Goodbye, Eric. It's too
Well, he'll
shallow
find
of a
someone.
love.
See, well, they made him such a playboy that, he just falls in and out of love all the time. So he'll find someone new. It'll be A-okay.
Right, and he needs someone to find an actual connection with.
Yeah. I mean, you could, like I said, the story's pretty generic so far. It's pretty full of tropes. It's full of things we've seen a million times before. I don't know. Not that I didn't expect it to be something like that. I didn't expect this to be Andor. Level of writing.
It's not supposed to be. It's
supposed
Willow.
to be. It's supposed to be fun, and like I said, I get the more of the teenage vibe out of it than I do that kind of family fun adventure that the first one was.
That's the only real downside I have with it right now is that, like you said, it feels more meant for the teenagers than meant for an entire group. I mean,
which is a very strange approach because if you're a teenager, your early 20s, you weren't even born when this came out. You may have never seen Willow. You may have seen it, may have shown it to you when you were a kid or something. But for, I'm a little older than a teenager or 20-something, so I remember seeing Willow in the theater when I was younger. I enjoyed
Willow.
it. I don't know that it was like something I really loved. I know you really, really enjoy Willow. I thought it was fine. And so it was kind of cool to have it come back. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll definitely check this out. And so far it's been like, oh, you kind of made it for teenagers.
Yeah,
right.
The teenage stuff is weird. Teenage speak, teenage angst,
Yeah.
teenage rebellion. There's room for the characters to grow, and I'm hoping they can fill the shoes left behind by Sorsha and Mad Mortigan.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it was really good chemistry between those two. I thought
It was.
It really worked.
Yes.
I like Val Kilmer, great actor. I think, like I said, unfortunate what has happened to him over the years. I don't know. So far, it's all right.
So far, I'm tentatively enjoying myself. They need to tone down the teenagers a bit, and I'll be happy.
I don't think they're going to. I think the show is really about those central relationships of those teenagers. So, like I said, it's all right. All right, well, I guess that's all we got for you this time. So take to the comments below. Tell us what you have thought of Willow so far. Are you enjoying it? Do you find it to be maybe too quote-unquote teenage-centric, whereas the original felt more like just a pure family adventure movie? I don't know. Whatever the case may be, leave your comments below. Let's talk some Willow. And until next time, thanks for watching.